Here. All right. So, what are we going to do today? So, we are going to learn. We finished last week on Cartesian planes. How do you find coordinates of any particular point on the Cartesian plane? Is a bit of an intercepts. We did a bit of a graphing as well. So, we'll continue on a bit of a graphing and we'll learn today the most important concept of linear relationships, which is gradients, and we'll also, if time permits, we will also touch upon a few practical applications of gradients and linear relationships. So, and that hopefully should wrap up linear relationships, for us before we move to other topics next week. All right, so uh, let's kick off and let's say if I have a relationship y equals to 2x plus 1. Now, for LC shadow, if you would not spam, that'll be great. Folded hand request. I'm requesting at the start. I will not request later. Okay. So just a warning. All right. So now what we are going to do is we are going to graph this. Now, I'll just draw a Cartesian plane here and say this is x, this is negative x, this is positive y, and this is negative y. Now, in order to graph a particular relationship, it's a linear relationship. We talked about why it's linear, the degree is 1, etc., etc. So I'll not go in that direction anymore. What we'll do is we'll quickly draw a table and we'll say x and y. We will plug in some x values and we'll find some y values. So let's say this is 1, 2, I'll just scale it 3, 4, -1, -2, -3. Oh, sorry, no, my bad, not -3, positive, positive, +1, +2, +3, and then -1, -2, -3, etc. And you've got -1, -2. I just randomly scaled it. Okay. All right. Please don't chat and concentrate here. Something really serious is going on. All right, and that is distracting me. Let's plug in x equals to 0. Can you tell me what will be y? Quick. X equals to 0. What is y? It should be quick. Yes, y is 1. So that means change the color of my pen and I say 1. X is 0, y is 1. So that means x is 0, y is 1. That's my point. X is 0, y is 1. Now, quick. Tell me, what if x is 1? What will be the value of y? Quick. X is 1, my dear. 1. Tarun, it's not 2. Sonic, it's not 2. It is 3. Good. So 1, 3. So 1, x is 1, y is 3. I'm here. Now, technically speaking, I can draw a straight line the moment I have 2 points. A straight line just needs 2 points, so I can draw a straight line. Not a perfect straight line, but I've drawn one. And I can keep going. I can, if I have more points, better. But in order to draw a straight line, I just need 2 points. And I can extend this straight line up and in any direction. So the point I'm trying to make here is in order to draw a line, I need just 2 points. Just hold this thought with you, and I'll come back to this thought and this point later in the session. A line can be drawn by just 2 points. So if I have 2 points, I can draw a straight line. Now, let's go to, let's understand another important concept. I'm going to the page, I'm going to page 2, please. So please roll along with me. Now, let's say that's the road that you're walking on. And that is a hill that you have to climb now. Another road, let's say road 1, road 2, and road 3. Now, if you look at the 3 roads, road 1, road 2, and road 3, this is a hill. So, which road has the steepest hill? Steepest hill. Road number 2. Exactly. That's the steepest hill, which means if you know a bit of a geometry here, if I just measure the angle, this angle here of road 2 is more than the angle of the road 1 and road 3. So the measure of the steepness, mind you, measure of the steepness is called slope. Now, slope or the steepness is always measured in the direction left to right. Always remember that. So the slope of the road 2, I call it as S2, and let's say slope of the road 1 is S1, and slope of the road 3 is S3. So slope of the road 2 is the greatest, is greater than slope of the road 1, which is greater than slope of the road 3. This slope is also, there's a synonym of this slope which is called gradient. You will hear these two terms quite interchangeably used in mathematics. For those for whom this concept is new, please concentrate, even more, right? A lot of you might know it, but a lot of you, it could be a new topic. Or you just know it, but then you don't know the real meaning of it. So, the measure of steepness is nothing but slope. And the most important point here is that we always measure the slope from left to right. Now, how do we measure this slope? Slope has got no units. There are no units of slope. That means kilometer, meter, centimeter, degrees, nothing. Slope hasn't got any units. Slope is just a number. Slope is just a number. Slope can be measured in degrees as well, but we'll come down to it later. For now, slope is just a number. So yes, you're right for LC shadow. Yes, Slope can be measured by an angle. All right, moving next. Slope hasn't got numbers. So if I have to hypothetically give any number to S2, and I'll say, okay, it's 5. S1 could be 3, and S2 and S3 could be 2. So 5 is greater than 3 is greater than 2. So remember, slope is always a number. Now, let's go to the next page. Please travel along. Slope is always measured from left to right. That means in the positive direction of x. If I were to draw a Cartesian plane, left to right means I am moving from negative to positive. Slope is always measured from left to right or from negative to the positive of x, which is the horizontal line. Now, there is a line like this, and there is a line like this. Now, the red line is also slopy, and the blue line is also slopy. Both of them are slopy. But if I look at the blue line, change the color maybe. If I take a look at the blue line, as I move in the positive direction of x, as I keep moving right, I keep climbing up. I am moving up, which means I am moving in the positive direction. So the slope of this blue line, let's call it as S1. S1 is positive. Let's look at the red line. I'll change the color. As I move along towards the right hand side, I am going downhill. And obviously for S1, I was going uphill. So if I'm traveling downhill, when I'm going from left to right, the slope is considered to be negative. So S2 is negative. So remember, from left to right, if you are going uphill, the slope is a positive value. And if you're going downhill, the slope is a negative value. The most important point here is that you always need to be traveling from left to right, not the other way around. Is this clear? So far, so good? Anyone? Any doubts? Basic stuff, right? Basic stuff, kid stuff. All right, now, in real life, in linear relationships, I don't represent slope with this number S1 and S2. I represent slope with a letter M. M is the slope. M is the variable that we use to represent slope in the world of linear relationships. Now, if my M is a negative value, which means the slope is negative, can you tell me whether we are traveling uphill or downhill, left to right? I'm waiting for the answers. I ask my question again. So if you're not listening, if you say what I've said, that means your concentration is not here. M is negative. M is a negative value. Am I traveling uphill or downhill? Tarun, we are going downhill. M is negative. Whenever I'm asking question, I need full 38 people to answer, please, right? All right, so if my M is a positive value, am I traveling uphill or downhill? Good. Let's go to the next page and let's find out how do we calculate slope. Before we calculate slope, quick food for thought. If that's my hill, if I'm traveling left to right on the red line, am I traveling uphill or downhill if I am traveling on this red line? Neither. Yes, I like that answer. Neither means my slope is 0. So remember, whenever, now hear me out loud and clear. Hear me out loud and clear. Whenever your line that you're trying to find the slope of is parallel to x-axis, which this is the x-axis, your slope is always 0. Another thought, another line. Not a perfect straight line, but consider this to be a straight line. Now, can I travel on this blue line at all? No, it's a wall, unless I'm a spider, right? I can't. So slope does not exist. Slope is not defined. I cannot define the slope. So always remember, if I draw a Cartesian plane, I draw a line like this, I draw a line like this, I draw a line like this, and I draw a line like this. Slope is positive, slope is negative, slope is 0, and slope is not defined. All good? So far, so good. Making sense, everyone? With me, Sunday morning. You're not sleeping, right? Okay. Let's try to calculate the value of slope. Super important. How do we calculate the value of slope? In selective school exam, remember that in selective school exam, every time you will have 3 to 4 questions on slope, on linear relationships. Every time. And they'll not ask you to do anything really super complex. They'll test you on basic understanding. All right. Now, how is slope calculated? The formula to calculate slope, and yes, PS, you're right. The formula to calculate slope is rise over run. What is rise? Rise is change in y value. And what is run? Change in x value. And I'll cut it short here. In order to find the slope of any given line, apologies, You always need 2 points on the line. Remember, we started off with the concept of 2 points. I told you that in order to draw a straight line, you need just 2 points, page number 1. So, in order to find the slope of any line, you need just 2 points again. So, if you have 2 points, I repeat, if you have 2 points on the line, that means 2 values, let's say x1, comma y1 and x2, comma y2. You remember our original equation was y equals to 2x plus 1. That's what we started off with. And we said when x is 0, y is 1. And when x was 1, y was 3. And so these are the 2 points. So x1, y1, I can say 0, comma 1. And x2, y2 is 1, comma 3. So I have 2 points on the line and I can write it as x1, y1, x2, y2. Now, coming back to slope. If you have 2 points on the line, one, you can draw that straight line. The other one is you can also find the slope. The formula to find the slope is rise over run. Change in y. How much y has changed? The change is, if I look at these 2 points here, my y has changed from 1 to 3. So my change is 3 take away 1. That's the change in y over change in x. How much has x changed? X has changed from 0 to 1. 1 take away 0. So let's quickly find it. 3 take away 1 is 2. And 1 take away 0 is 1. Which means the slope is 2. Not 1. Slope is 2. I don't know why you're writing 1. Slope is 2. Everyone understood how I have just calculated the slope? Now, a lot of kids do a blunder, which is, and I'll go to the next page, what blunder they normally do is, let's say I have the same 2 points. So my points were 0, comma 1, and the other point was 1, comma 3. Common mistake. Let's say this is x1, y1, x2, y2. What kids do is, let's say they say y2, change in y, 3 take away 1 over 0 take away negative 1. So what they've done here is, they've taken 3 minus 1. So what they've done is y2 minus y1. But hang on, what have they done in the denominator? They've taken x1 take away x2, which is incorrect. When you're taking the second coordinate, take away the first coordinate on the numerator, you need to be doing the same in the denominator. So it should be 1 take away 0, not 0 take away 1. Now I can swap it around. Let me take a different color. Let me take a green. I can, and hear me out loud and clear, I can take this to be x1, y1, and x2, y2. And let's try to do the same, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now my y2 is a 1 here. 1 take away 3 over x2 minus x1. So now x2 minus x1. x2 is 0 take away 1. So see, I've swapped the coordinates. But what you will see is 1 take away 3 is a negative 2, and 0 take away 1 is a negative 1. So you still get a 2. So the point I'm trying to make, no, it's not negative 2, it's 2. So the point I'm trying to make is that it does not really matter which set of coordinates you take as x1, y1 and x2, y2, provided that the formula that you apply is x2 minus x1 over, sorry, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That is the point. All right, let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. What I will now do is I'm going to go to the next page. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you a graph, and I want you to find me the slope of that straight line that I'm going to give you now. Let me just snip that out. All right, here you go. Okay, I'm pasting it here. I can. All right, now you have a straight line in front of you, and I want you to find me the gradient of this line or the slope of this line. Mind you, I have not given you any coordinates. Find two coordinates that you can easily find on the graph and give me the gradient. Good, good, good. There's nothing called 2 comma 1 here, boys and girls. Slope is just a number. I need that number. Good job. So what are we doing? Let's quickly do that. I'll take a red. 2 points that I can easily find in the graphs. That's my first point. 0, comma 0. The other point is this that I can easily trace, which is 1, comma 2. Now x1, y1, x2, y2. The slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, which means 2 take away 0 over 1 take away 0, which means 2 over 1, which is 2. So my slope is 2. Good job. Now, let's do another one. Let's do some fun stuff. So far, so good. Let's put another snippy out. Probably I'll go to the next page, boys and girls. Keep cruising along. All right, let's see what happens now. Be careful. All right, be careful. Don't jump the gun. Take your time. Here you go now. I need the slope of this line, please. Take your time. There is no rush. I am not throwing anything and no time at you. Take your time. Don't jump the gun. Good job. -1 is the answer. Now, in case you're not able to do it, first things first, if I look at the slope, when I'm traveling from left to right, I'm going downhill. Slope should be negative. If you're getting a positive answer, that means it is incorrect. So that is the first check. Good job. Good job, everyone. -1 is the answer. So what are the 2 points? Let me take these 2 points. Point number 1 is -2, 0. And point number 2, I can take the easiest point here, which is 0, -2. x1, y1, x2, y2. So slope is y2 take away y1 over x2 take away x1. y2 is 2 take away 0, -2 take away 0 over x2 minus x1, 2 take away -2, which means a -1. Good job. -1 is the right answer. If I may ask you a question now, I think that people are still joining in. I'm surprised. 30 minutes. All right. Now, if I may ask you now, can you tell me, and this was covered in the last week, what is the y-intercept and what is the x-intercept? Quick. Give me the y-intercept first, please. The y-intercept is the point where the line touches the y-axis. Here. That point. -2. Good job. What is the x-intercept? The point where the line touches the x-axis. That's the point. -2. So the equation, sorry, the y-intercept is -2, x-intercept is -2, and the slope of the line is -1. All right, let's go to the next page. All right. Now, I'll go back to the equation that I started off with. Y equals to 2x plus 1. And you remember that when we tried finding out the slope of this line by taking 2 points, 0, 1 and 1, 3, the slope of the line came to be 2. Now look closely. 2 and 2. So, are they same? Yes, they are. So what I'm trying to tell you now is that you, at the first place, should not have really needed 2 points to find the slope of this line. If I say y equals to 2x plus 1, I'm repeating it, Shaban, don't worry. So y equals to 2x plus 1. I don't really need 2 points to then calculate a y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 to find the slope of the line. But why? If I have the equation of my linear function or my equation in the form of y equals to mx plus c, then the coefficient of x here, which is 2, is the slope. I hope, Shaban, this is clear now. So you don't need 2 points. So what I'm trying to make a point here is that, let's say now you guys will tell me y equals to 3x plus 4. What is the slope here? I don't need 2 points at all. Absolutely right. Keep going. I need to see all 37, 40 answers here. Everyone should be typing. Those of you who haven't typed it, I need an answer here. Quick. All right. Good job. Slope is 3. Now, hang on. Stop typing. Another question. 2y equals to 2x plus 3. What is the slope here? Go for it. Tell me the slope. Yep. So don't overtype it. Don't overtype it. It's okay, right? All right. So the slope is not 2. Slope is not 2. Why? Because if you look at this equation here and this equation here, the difference is that this equation had y without any coefficient. There is no number. That means it's just 1. But here, y's got 2. So I need to get rid of this 2 in order to find the slope. So what I need to do is and coming back to the linear equation, leave me alone strategy, I divide this by 2. So whatever I'm doing on the left-hand side, I will do it on the right-hand side to every term. So 2 cancels, y equals to 2 cancels, x plus 3 on 2. That. Now x is all alone here. This x means 1x, so your slope is 1. All right, making sense? Yes. Now, let's move forward to the next page, please. Oh, good. Now, I have the same, I'll pop a graph here. Take a snippy. Just pop a graph here, give me a sec. All right, here you go. Can you quickly tell me the slope and the y-intercept? Quick. Slope and the y-intercept, not the x-intercept. Right slope equals to and y-intercept equals to. I don't understand what this one is, okay? And just type once. Good. Slope is 1, y-intercept is 2. How? Slope is 1, y-intercept is 2. I told you how to calculate the slope. You need 2 points. So the 2 points here are, let's say I've picked up this point and this point, the easiest ones. So I say 0, 2 and -2, 0. So these are the 2 points that help me calculate that the slope is 1, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and my y-intercept is 2. Now, if I ask you the next question, can you find me the rule of this line? So the rule of this line will be, rule is always in the form of y equals to mx plus c. Now, what is this c here? The c is a variable that we use for y-intercept. Y-intercept is c. So in the world of linear relationships, you need to remember two things. M, the variable m is used for slope or gradient, and variable c is used for y-intercept. So if you know these two values, you can pretty much find the rule of the line. So let's plug it in. Y equals to, slope is 1 times x plus c is 2. So y equals to 1x plus 2, or I can write y equals to x plus 2. Is this clear so far, everyone? Any dramas here? Awesome. Awesome. All right. Now, let's do another graph. I'm going to the next page now. All right. Let me pull out a snippet of this one. All right. Let's do this one now. Can you find me the rule of this line? Take your time. Y equals to negative 2x is the right answer. So, how do we find it? If I look at it here, that's my point, 0, 0. And then I can find any one more point of my choice. Let's say I picked up this point here, which is 1, negative 2. So the slope is, let's say slope m is, this is x1, y1, x2, y2. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, which means negative 2 over 1. So the slope is negative 2. Now, the next point is, at what point this line is cutting the y-axis? That's my y-intercept. Hang on, it's at 0, 0. At y equals to 0, the line is cutting the y-axis. So my c value is 0. Yes, PS, absolutely right. So y equals to, Kartiki, are you understanding? Y equals to negative 2x plus 0, which means y equals to negative 2x. That is the equation. Making sense, yes or no? You're with me so far, so good. Yes? All right. Now, let's go one more step ahead. I gave you the graph and I asked you find me the equation of the line. Now, I am not going to give you the equation. Sorry, I'm not going to show you the graph at all. I will just give you only 2 points. Only 2 points, and I want you to find me the equation of the line. So, let's say, let's say I have a point. I'm giving you a point 0, 1 and 1, 4. I'm giving you 2 points, x1, y1, x2, y2. I want you guys to calculate the equation of the line. So that means you need to find the slope and you need to find the y-intercept for me, and job done. Y equals to 3x plus 1. Let's quickly do it. Let me find the slope. Slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. 3 over 1 makes it a 3. So my equation is y equals to 3x plus c. Now what is c? C is the y-intercept. Hang on, I've given you the y-intercept here straight off. Y-intercept means x value is 0. So you're given, you know 1. So 3x plus 1. Good job. Go to the next page. Let's do more challenge. All right. One, I'm just randomly making stuff. I don't know whether that the answer that you will give me right or wrong. We'll calculate it together. 1, 2 and 3, 4. Give me the equation of the line x1, y1, x2, y2. Let's see where you land. Take your time. We've got bang 8 minutes in this session still remaining. Take your time. I have not given you y-intercept this time. There's nothing called 1 here. I need the equation of the line. There's nothing called y equals to x plus c. What is c? I need the c as well, right? Okay, let's quickly solve it. Let's find the slope first. That's what I can do. Y equals to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, which means 4 take away 2 over 3 take away 1, which means 2 over 2 is 1. Slope is 1. Cool. M is 1. Now, hang on. I don't have the y-intercept here. I don't know what c is. Let me write it down. Y equals to mx plus c, which means y equals to 1x plus c. Now, how do I find this c? The easiest way, and hear me out loud and clear, the easiest way to find c is plug any 2 points that are given to you in this equation and find c. Let's plug in 1, 2 here. Let's plug in y equals to 2 and x equals to 1. So my c value is 2 take away 1 is 1. I can try with 3 and 4 as well. Let's try it with a different color. We'll land on the same spot. Y is 4. So I can say 4 equals to 3 plus c. So c will be 1 again. So the answer is y equals to x plus 1. But there's one more trick that I wanted to tell you from here in case you've used this. All right. Let's try this on the next page. Let's try on the next page. Let's go to the next page. I'm giving the same points again. 1 comma, I think 1 comma 2 and 3 comma 4. X1, Y1, X2, Y2. Now I'm going to use a different way to find the equation of the line. The equation or the technique that I'm going to use is called point slope form. Point slope form, which means that I need 1 point and the slope. I calculated my slope to be 1 on the previous page. So there is an equation, there is another format of the straight line. It is called y minus y1 equals to m times x minus x1. Remember that. So the first one that I gave you was in a different color, was y equals to mx plus c. Now I'm giving you another form, the point slope form. Let's plug it in. I'll change the color back to blue so that we differentiate the two. This x and this y does not change at all. Y remains y. Now, your choice, you can pick up the x1, y1 here. Y minus 2 equals to m was 1. 1 x minus x1 is 1. Let's rearrange it. Y minus 2 equals to distributive law, x minus 1. Take away 2, positive 2, positive 2. Y equals to x minus 2 plus x minus 1 plus 2. Y equals to x plus 1. You landed at exactly the same spot. Exactly the same spot. So now I'm summarizing it, right? In case this is new for you, right? This is not taught until grade 9, this form. You can use anyone, Shoaib, up to you. You can use anyone. So I have two forms that I've learned today for the straight line equation. So the equation of the straight line the two ways to find it. First one is called, which you all know, is called the slope intercept form, which is y equals to mx plus c. So you need the slope and you need the intercept. This is what you're familiar with. And the one I gave you today is called point slope form, which is y minus y1 equals to m times x minus x1. In point slope form, you don't have to find the y-intercept. Once you found the slope, use one of the two given points, done. So a quickest application to this point slope form is, now I want you to use it. I have my slope equals to 2, let us say, and you just know 1 point, 1 comma 3, which is x1, y1. Can you give me the equation? Quick. Use point slope form. Give me the equation now. Last question of the day. I'm not seeing any answers here. Looks like you're frozen or what? Y minus, there's no question mark. Give me the answer, definite answer. Y minus 3 equals to, slope is 2, x minus 1. So y minus 3 equals to 2x minus 2. So y equals to 2x minus 2. You got a plus 3 on both the sides, which means y equals to 2x plus 1. Yes, PS, you're right. Did you understand? So if you are not given 2 points, I tell you, it is going to be a mess if you only know one form. And that was the crux of the day. If you know just 1 point and slope, you can find the equation of the line using point slope form. With that, I bring this session to peace today, and I hope you sort of gained a lot out of it. And thank you very much for joining this Sunday morning meditation, and keep practicing. And thank you very much for your time. I will see you back next Sunday. Goodbye. Enjoy the rest of your week.